to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a Carolina Panther, but also relating it to Saquon Barkley. Christian Mccafferey, who last year had an unbelievable season. He was the best fantasy football player because he racked up, I think, about 2,500 scrimmage yards. He was only the third running back, if I'm not mistaken, ever to have 1,000 receiving and 1,000 rushing yards in the same season. And he's kind of following the trend. I did a video about a month ago, talking about that I think the New York Giants should extend Saquon Barkley as soon as possible. And I get it, after 2 years, you can't really extend him, especially after he's coming off an injury. But this is a pattern now. You look, Gurley got paid after 3 years. McCaffrey got paid after 3 years. Zeke got paid after 3 years. The thinking behind it is logical, and it only makes sense. Running backs have a short shelf life. Yes, you can wait a couple extra years on their rookie deal. But the thing is this, then you're just going to have to extend them on a 4 or 5 year contract, and then they'll be leaking into 31, 32, not to mention the market continuously goes up. McCaffrey now is worth $16 million a year, which is what this contract is. Next year, when the market goes up by 15%, he's going to be worth that much more, and that is what Saquon Barkley will probably command on the open market, especially if he goes out there this year and absolutely tears it up. But let's jump into the tweet by Ian Rappaport regarding Christian McCaffrey, and here it is. Source: the Panthers are signing running back McCaffrey to a 4-year, $64 million extension, a big payday for the Carolina Star. And the guarantees are not out yet, but we know it's for a 4-year, $64 million, which surpasses Zeke. I think Zeke got a 6-year deal, but it was $15 million per season. So on a per-year basis, Christian McCaffrey is the highest paid running back in the National Football League. And like I said, with the market going up by 15% next year, if McCaffrey is setting the market at $16 million a year, and Barkley goes out there this year, and does what he did basically in his rookie season, expect him to get 15% on top of that, potentially on a 4 or 5 year extension. Well, what would 15% be on $16 million? That'd be about an extra $2 to $2.5 million on top. You're talking 18 and a half, and it makes sense to get it done then. Because if you wait, you don't know how much the market's going to continue to go up. If you wait another year, it could be 20 million, then 22, and so on and so forth. The sooner that you could extend Barkley, the better. It only makes sense, one, from the financial aspect of the 4 or 5 year extension, but two, you get it over with by the time he's 28, 29, and then he's entering the tail end of his prime for a running back. For a quarterback, it makes more sense to wait longer. Quarterbacks last longer. You have some quarterbacks like Drew Brees and Tom Brady who last till 40. Most quarterbacks last till at least 35, playing at a highly effective level, as long as you provide them with a strong offensive line. Running backs typically break down between the ages of 28 and 30. So, if you were to extend Barkley after his third season, he'd be 28, 29 years old, and then you give him a short-term deal after that if he's still performing at a high level. The Panthers go in with the same exact line of thinking. I didn't look at his age, but I'd assume he's about 24, and it's a 4-year extension. So they'll have him on contract till about 27, 28 years old, and then they'll decide from there if McCaffrey still has something left in the tank. People may hear $16 million, and they'll say that's crazy for a running back, but that's the going rate, especially when you draft them early, because the team loses leverage. You look at Saquon Barkley, you look at McCaffrey, more so Barkley. Barkley was the second overall pick. Barkley this year, in his third season, I think is going to make about $9 million. Next year, I think it's 10, if I'm not mistaken, the following year. So you'd only be giving him an $8 or $9 million raise, and it only makes sense to get it done with, because over the course of the long haul, it makes more sense to get him happy, make sure he doesn't hold out. You're not going to franchise tag a player like Saquon Barkley. Like I said, of course he has to stay healthy. Would I do it right now? Probably not. First off, the Giants don't have a lot of cap space as is, but I guess it would go towards next year's salary. But the fact that he's coming off an injury, the fact that you don't know how your offensive line is going to perform this year, I'd want to see how he performs in the new offense. But after this year, I would try to get it done as soon as possible. It's only going to cost you more in the long run if you wait. If Saquon Barkley's in the long-term plans, much like Christian McCaffrey was for the Carolina Panthers, Ezekiel Elliott was, and Todd Gurley was for the Rams, it's better to get it done with sooner than later. Gurley didn't work out. You can't predict injuries. Gurley, of course, suffered an injury. The Rams had to eat some money. They cut him, and it didn't work. Zeke, we'll have to wait and see. That was a long-term deal. That was 6 years. McCaffrey, this makes a lot of sense. Of course, he got a lot of touches. We'll see how good he performs in the second, third, fourth year of that contract. But the New York Giants do not want a Le'Veon Bell situation. If there was any running back, in my opinion, that could last long-term in the NFL, it's Barkley. He's fast, He's strong. He's agile. He keeps himself in tremendous shape. But you never know, especially at that position. But the sooner they get it done with, the better. And I think there's a great job here by the Carolina Panthers getting this done before the market accelerates. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.